Hey all you rollers and other wonderful people out there. For whatever reason, you all really liked my Comic-Con Revolution kind of cosplay showcase. And although I may not have the kind of music that kind of really goes with a lot of the scenes that you're seeing, or the epically produced shots of these different cosplays, I do have one thing that none of those other things have. Me. In all seriousness, I really appreciate a lot of the feedback people have gotten, and because there was such demand for another video, considering I went to MegaCon with John and I got to meet up awesome people like Dell and Pat, I figured, you know what, why not? Let's do another cosplay showcase for MegaCon. Before we get into that, I definitely want to go ahead and spotlight and thank Delgado Creative for supplying some great shots. They also helped us out when we went to Soupa Saiyan, so you want to definitely check that out. It's a Dragon Ball Z themed restaurant that's located in Orlando. So I'm going to go ahead and point to here. There's going to be a little clip that you're going to see of that video. Definitely make sure to check it out. We also got with not only Dell but also Pat from We Seen It. They joined us for the MegaCon edition of the ReadyComicsRoll podcast. Same thing, going to point to it. Check that out if you want to. We want to go ahead and discuss everything about MegaCon, as well as some of the cosplays we really enjoyed, and just what made this year just something special. Then, of course, also be sure to go ahead and check out Delgado's. He went ahead and made this epic kind of cosplay music video. Again, fantastic shots I'm talking about. We're talking about professional level stuff. I mean, this guy's going to be big in the near future. Go ahead and check out his cosplay showcase right here. And so I'm going to kind of do this the same as before. You kind of see me off to the side. I'm going to go ahead and try and have the shots as big as possible for you to see of either different cosplays or even maybe some kind of locations to really kind of highlight moments. So one of the first things I'm actually going to show off is, thanks to my friend Steven, S15 Cosplay, he gave me some advice on how to really kind of make my Grey Warden, the Warden, Hero Ferelden cosplay kind of pop. Because I had a lot of different cuts into it, but you couldn't really see it in most shots or even from far away. So what we recommend doing is taking kind of a hot knife and kind of doing those engravings to really give it that detail and depth. So this is kind of just a shot to show you just a little bit of an improvement overall of that. I think it did a really good job. Sadly, you see this with me making a kind of a mopey face. What I attempted to do, and I'm hopefully can have this done at SuperCon because I got some really good advice from my buddy Cody from Cody's Cosplay Carnival, is I wanted to have kind of a floating character bar over my head as I'm walking around. So I kind of took clear acrylic plastic and trying to fashion it into something where I can have it go into the back of my Grey Warden armor cosplay, pop up out and over my head so it can have this bar. Unfortunately, with the cardboard and the size of it, even the acrylic plastic was not strong enough. So what I'm going to try and do in time for SuperCon is I'm going to take Cody's advice, and he said go ahead and get some PVC pipe, heat it down so where you can kind of flatten it, and that's definitely provide the kind of strength needed to do so. So I'm going to try and find some clear PVC, do exactly just that, kind of heat it to the point where I can kind of flatten it down, but then I also kind of bend it to two different joints, so it's not like coming right out of my back and kind of me stuck craning my neck. But this at least gives you an idea of what I was kind of going for, plus the sad face. And then from there, actually making it to the convention on one of the first days, we actually have these cosplayers. You know what? And Delgado has the right idea when he gets pictures and videos of people. He gets like their business cards, which a lot of cosplayers are doing, which is really smart. He'll get their business cards with their Instagram information or other social media. Unfortunately, that's something I didn't do until near the very end. You have these talented cosplayers who did their own rendition of, I think it's Lock, Stock, and Barrel, as well as Oogie Boogie from The Nightmare Before Christmas. But they did it more to a Day of the Dead kind of theme look to it, which I thought was really cool. And then going there, just another shot with John. Actually, again, you'll probably see my cosplay a few times, but I swear it's not going to be all me. This was a better shot, in my opinion, of the full look in tabard and all of my Grey Warden Hero Ferelden cosplay. I had the High Ever Shield, where anybody who plays Dragon Age, that is the shield of the Kuzlin heraldry, which is the human origin. And then you unfortunately don't get a very good shot of Starfang, which is the prop I'm probably most proud of, which is the sword. But then of course we have this like amazing Red Skull cosplayer. So the funny thing is I heard later on after posting up this picture that people were complaining that somebody was dressed up as a Nazi. They were trying to have this person banned. And it just goes to show, unfortunately, that they didn't realize that this person was dressed up as a comic book character. They're Red Skull with the Cosmic Cube. They did a very good job, I guess, even in so of, unfortunately, kind of pissing some people off. Then from there, of course, I'm going to butcher it, because Death Watch. So, of course, John was able to get this shot of Death Watch, because, I mean, Mandalorians, you got to get shots of them. I kind of didn't know that's who they were at first, because it's been a while since I've really watched a lot of the things, or consumed a lot of content that's outside of the main continuity of the movies, and even just some of the cartoons. I've just now, more recently, over this past year, been getting heavy into all that, so I kind of almost missed that. I thought that was people kind of doing their own take on Mandalorian outfits, because you'll see that a lot of different conventions. So, kind of as a joke, it's where you have a shot of me fighting against them. He actually has, the black saber, and I'm just surrounded by Mandalorians. The joke was that because of what happened at the previous Comic-Con Revolution and the kind of situation I ran into with the Mandalorians there, this is me trying to strike first, but it doesn't end well. Not for me, at least. Then we have, of course, this Bob's Burgers cosplayers. I definitely got this shot more for my wife because she's a huge fan of Bob's Burgers. But they did a really good job. I mean, it's not the hardest cosplay to pull off, but they did it well. And of course, again, another shot. I'm working on my posing. I'm still not great at it. But we definitely wanted to get this shot of this awesome Master Chief. I know that's another popular cosplay you might not see too often, because kind of just like the Fallout Power Armor, there's a lot involved in creating this kind of stuff. This person definitely did a good job, and of course they have the assault rifle on there, and it definitely looks like it kind of just hops right out of the game. We of course have the Coon and Friends from the Fractured Butthole, also South Park. They did a pretty good job of kind of nailing down the look of the characters. And it's funny too, because if you ever want to go ahead and mess with somebody, go ahead and show them a picture of Mysterion. That's Kenny's character, the one with the underwear on the outside, without any context, and just kind of see what they think of it. But they did a good job, and it was funny because when we took pictures of them, it's like, oh hey, I'm the new kid, so it's the joke of the game. Of course, in this shot, you have a cool little action shot between Steven and I. I kind of think this is going to be a running theme towards friends/rivals meeting up at the con and fighting one another. So you have me kind of trying to hold Steven off with the shield, I got my blade ready to try and jab him. He's just making like this crazy murderous look, and it's a wonderful shot. I really like this shot a lot, and again, Steven, with a lot of his cosplay props and his creations, really kind of goes all out. He's definitely one of the best Fallout cosplayers that I've seen in a long time, and I really like the Nuka Break sign that he made. That was also a nice touch. And then from there, it's Infinity War's not even been out for that long, and already we have an Iron Spider cosplayer who did a really good job creating kind of a harness that allows the kind of legs to attach, and it stays on pretty well, and as you can see from this picture, it looks really good. And then you also have a nice Venom cosplayer that actually was able to make kind of like the low-hanging jaw, to be able to get the tongue and everything on there. Very good detail, very good cosplayer as far as that's concerned too. And of course, 2 Gwenoms are better than 1. We have a shot of the Venom sandwiched between 2 Gwenoms. And then of course, this was a really nice shot by John. We actually kind of have a little Spidverse thing going on. We have of course the Iron Spider from Infinity War at the front. We have a Gwenom to the side, and to the other side we have the PlayStation 4 version of Spider-Man, which I'm dying to play that game. And of course, what Spider-Verse shot would be complete without Black Cat? This is a funny shot. This guy was awesome, dressed up as George R.R. Martin. Definitely has that kind of look, and he has a scythe. So I'm like, John, we have to get this shot. He has to kill me. It has to be done. And the joke's got to be that no franchise is safe when it comes to George R.R. Martin, not even ones he does not own. So you kind of see he's got the scythe, he's just jamming it into my chest, and I was like, ah, so I'm dead. That's why. And I don't know, I thought this was a funny shot. Definitely let me know what you think in the comments below, but again, greatly appreciate this guy from taking the time to, be involved in this and kind of creating this image. So this was a funny shot. I wasn't actually with John at this time, but he didn't realize he actually got a picture of Zombie and some of her friends doing Fallout cosplay, and that pipe rifle, again, just the three of them definitely did a fantastic job, super well detailed. And that's kind of why I really like Fallout, because of the fact that you can just kind of get crazy with it and be very inventive. and just some of the stuff that these people create, just the detail involved in these cosplays are just... That's definitely why one of my future cosplays, actually I'm going to try and have it ready for next MegaCon, is going to be a Fallout character that I created using heavy combat armor. I'm going to have the Gauss rifle, the new Gauss rifle with the silencer and the whole 9 yards. It's going to be quite the undertaking, but I think it's really going to pay off. And then of course you have this, there's 2 loaders that were there. There's one who was a cosplayer who was actually being Ripley in the loader. She did a fantastic job with hers. But with this one here, I kind of, if I had to choose between the 2, I would choose this loader only because of the fact that this one looks a lot more dirty, like it's been worn and used, and it was also pretty much fully operational, had the lights, everything was kind of moving around. So both loaders though, kudos to them, because I'm sure that must have been countless hours of blood, sweat, and tears to put this stuff together, and it definitely pays off and it shows. And of course, you know, again, huge fan of Venom, even other Venoms, even though Eddie Brock's the one true Venom. This person did a great job of doing the Flash Thompson Space Knight Venom. I believe the whole thing was kind of like a rubberized kind of latex suit, except for the one kind of claw that you see there. That I'm pretty sure is foam. But they did a fantastic job. I'm so happy they gave me the opportunity to take this shot, because it was definitely a good one. And then out in the wild, kind of walking about, and this is what I love about the convention. You meet so many awesome people, so many passionate cosplayers of, you know, every different kind of genre, whether it be comics, movies, video games, and so on. So you have this group who did a really good job of kind of putting together an evil within kind of cosplay group. Love survival horror, love horror in general, so this was a treat for me, and I'm glad I was able to get the shot of them all together. And speaking of treats, as a huge fan, and I still say this, and you can fight me on this in the comments, the best comic duo of all time is Luke Cage and Iron Fist, the Heroes for Hire. I'm actually doing a video later on explaining why. But so it was great for me to see these 2 cosplayers as Luke Cage and Iron Fist absolutely had to get a shot, and they pretty much nailed it for their most recent rendition of both characters. Their most recent comic run, the 2016 run of Iron Fist, is probably one of my favorite runs so far. Definitely make sure to check that out. And of course, you know, if somebody was stuck in Silent Hill, I think they would stand a much better chance against the Pyramid Head if they had their own suit of Iron Man armor. So you have somebody that's dressed up in the early Iron Man armor, as well as a kind of Pyramid Head. I mean, it could probably be argued that that's a War Machine, but they don't have any of the actual upgrades. I think, if anything, that's kind of the prototype early Iron Man suit before it was kind of painted over. And then, of course, again, I mentioned Cody's Cosplay Carnival and Cody earlier. He, of course, showed up to MegaCon, and I mean, just look at this shot. You thought his Mr. Freeze was badass? Check this out. He actually did a Scarecrow cosplay, his own version of it, and he used Warblood to kind of create the face mask, and then he just took it the extra mile. He did the black face paint, he did the yellow contacts for his eyes, and he actually had LEDs inside of the face mask to kind of really give it that kind of Scarecrow glow. The overall just look, the kind of patchwork, very, forget the name of the material, burlap sack kind of patches and everything in there, the noose around his neck, and then of course the scythe. It's just, again, just completely blown away, and I can't wait to see what he's going to go ahead and come up with next as far as the cosplay, because he says, well, whatever we're going to see, it's going to be big, so I'm looking forward to it. And again, this is going to be a more common occurrence you're going to see at conventions, and I'm completely okay with that. But you have Overwatch cosplayers, and they're in the many different skins. I mean, as far as Doomfish, Junkrat, Tracer, McCree, and I almost said Junkrat again. I'm sorry, Roadhog. So they're really cool, and it kind of sucks as a cosplayer. I haven't experienced it too often, except for the one time I was dressed up as the Pyro. But like, it's really hard for you to walk around if you have a really cool cosplayer group together, because you're being stopped like every few seconds to have your picture taken. And yeah, I mean, it's something like, I guess it's weird. It's different for everybody. But sometimes you're happy that it happens. But sometimes if you have plans, you're trying to go somewhere, it can kind of be annoying. So I always kind of feel bad when I see people getting their pictures taken by a bunch of people, and then they're ready to go, and then you kind of get there last minute. You're like, oh wait, please let me get your picture. And then they have to kind of get back in formation again. But again, running theme, lots of Fallout. You have this shot here of these 2 awesome Fallout cosplayers. You have one that's more the winterized sucks that I don't remember off the top of my head the model of either of these two. It seems like the most common of the Fallout series, so fail on me. But two different versions of the Fallout power armor, and actually the one on the right of the picture actually had a speaker box in the chest area, so kind of like the Stormtroopers and just anybody else who has power armor, they were able to speak through that, so that was really cool. And actually, for Pat in his kind of interview MegaCon video, he was able to get a video of that, so definitely check out Pat's, for We Seen It, their MegaCon interview, so you can go ahead and see that, kind of see that speaker box in action. And of course, what MegaCon convention would be complete without a Spidverse gathering created and brought together by MELF? For anybody who hasn't heard of MELF, they do a lot of really fun skits. They do cosplay, very comic book superhero oriented, and they just have a really fun community. And one thing I always look forward to, and I'm going to try and participate in next MegaCon, is their whole Spider-Verse gathering. So this is a really cool shot of that. Next to, of course, the Sean Ward shows. They were also involved in this whole event, and it was just a blast to witness. And this is another shot more for Alejandro because he's a huge fan of Steven Universe, but at the same time, these were also great cosplayers of Garnet, Greg, and Rose Quartz. Fantastic work as far as cosplay. The shield work is nice. The fact that it's a little bit translucent was really cool. They did a great job really putting their cosplay together and did really well kind of as a group. Okay, so the image is already going to be posted up when you saw me making that kind of face, but one thing that the whole Venomverse, I think, got right, at least as far for me, is you had the different Venomized versions of heroes. Well, one of my favorite renditions, of course, took my two favorite Marvel characters, Captain America and Eddie Brock Venom, but just we'll say Venom in this respect. As you can see here in the picture, this is actually from the comics. This isn't like just some wacky thing that somebody came up with, but I'm going to go ahead and link their information down in the video comments. But they went ahead and created a awesome cosplay of the Venomized Captain America. And I'm going to cut to the next shot because the mouth actually moves. It really kind of adds that extra, it takes that cosplay to that extra level. So I absolutely had to get a shot of this because, again, Captain America is my second favorite Marvel character, with Venom being my first favorite. So my two favorite characters combined from the comics, seeing it out there, like it just leapt right from the comic books. So definitely had to get that shot. Of course, again, lots of Marvel love, it seems, from MegaCon this year. And there's awesome cosplayers as Nova, Daredevil from the Netflix series, and Storm. All awesome cosplays. I'm going to go ahead and I know I got some of their business cards information because this is around the time where I got better at doing so, thanks to Delgado. And I'm going to make sure to put that down in the video comments below. But then, of course, as always, and I should have mentioned this from the beginning, if you see yourself in any of these shots and I don't tag you, definitely know in the comments below. I want to give you credit for your awesome work. And so this is actually outside of the con. This is when John and I just got done seeing Solo in theaters in Orlando. We happened to be walking past, and there was this fantastic Spike and Edward just kind of posing up for a kind of professional photo shoot. So politely asked if they were okay with us getting their shot, and we did so, and they were just spot on. Like, if the live-action movie looked even half as good as this, the movie would be in great shape. Of course, we have a shot, so on that night, it was Saturday night, we have kind of the shot of, or actually it was Friday night. I don't even remember it anymore. It was Saturday night. Saturday night. Anyways, completely lost track of time. The four of us came together, Pat from We Seen It, Delgado from Delgado Creatives, and also kind of helped us with a lot of shots of Soupa Saiyan and all that other good stuff. John and I came together. This is kind of like a casual shot of the calm before the storm when we went ahead and recorded the actual podcast episode for MegaCon. Right. She was fantastic. I feel really bad because I even asked her, I'm like, how many people knew who you were? Because I know, because I actually watched the Bettlejuice series in my youth. So I knew she was Lydia. And she did a fantastic job of doing it. She's like, you don't understand how many people were like, oh, hey, Spider-Girl. She's like, no, not Spider-Girl. Fantastic work with Lydia. I definitely wanted to highlight that kind of story. Ghostbusters cosplayers. Always love me some Ghostbusters cosplayers. And it's great that you have one that has Slimer, one has like Stay Puft marshmallow bits on them. Just fantastic work on that cosplay and kind of putting that together. And then again, speaking of cosplays that look like they jumped right out of the comic book pages, this Kingpin was phenomenal. Definitely want to make sure I kind of show this shot. Definitely had the look down, had the attitude down, the air about him when they were walking around. So really wish I had their information to kind of put that down there. But fantastic, fantastic work. Funny enough, Alejandra unfortunately was not able to go. I really wanted her to MegaCon due to just unforeseen circumstances. She wanted to do a Land of the Lustrous cosplay. But that's still a fairly new anime, and I didn't really see anybody except for this person do a cosplay of it, which they did a very good job of doing a Rainbow Prism. Yes, that is pretty much going to do it for the shots of MegaCon. Lots of stories. I will say, definitely, and we kind of already said this in the podcast, we've had, or at least I especially have had bad experiences with MegaCon in the past. This is definitely their redemption story. I had a lot of fun. I got to meet a lot of great people. I got to do a lot of fun things in Orlando with a lot of people and friends, and very fortunate for that opportunity to do so. It's definitely far better organized this year. They have an app that allows you to kind of create your own schedule, and it reminds you, like, within different reminders as many times as you want, like maybe an hour before, 30 minutes before, 10 minutes before an actual event happens. You have a list of meetups, so if you want to be part of a cosplay meetup, hey, it lets you know. Again, organization by far a million times better than it's ever been. It was a lot of fun. Definitely looking forward to it next year. So that's where we're going to kind of end this. Again, these things get kind of long-winded. I don't know why you people enjoy these things, but you know what? I appreciate you. I'm glad that you're here, that you enjoy me giving kind of these critiques and these showcasing these cosplays. Of course, it wouldn't be possible without viewers like you, as well as the cosplayers, you phenomenal, amazing, hardworking cosplayers that create these costumes, that show off your passion for things you love, and, you know, allow us to take these shots for me to be able to share it and showcase you in the way I do. So again, if you see yourself in any of these pictures and I did not credit you, for starters, I apologize. I should have got your information when I had the chance. This is definitely the time to let me know. I will make sure to go ahead and put it in the video description below, giving you full credit, making sure that I link to your social media or even your YouTube channels, so people can definitely go ahead and appreciate and see a lot of the other work that you may have come up with. And yeah, that's going to be about it for this video. Thanks always for watching, and if you enjoyed it, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Let me know what some of your favorite cosplays that you've seen in this video. Kind of highlight them. Let me know down in the comments below. Of course, always we do have that what I mentioned before, podcast that it's done with John and myself and Mike. The three of us do this podcast, typically with special guests, talking about video games, comics, tabletop, just about all the forms of geekdom, including cosplay. So be sure to check that podcast out on either iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, iTunes, yeah. And while you're at it, follow us on social media. Check out ReadyComicsRoll on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and all the other social media we have listed in the video description below. Join our Discord while you're at it. You can go ahead and speak directly to us, the ReadyComicsRoll crew, as well as the other rollers, about all the geeky stuff that we love, including cosplay, anime, video games, you name it. It's just a fun community. It's growing every day. Definitely become a part of it. And follow us on Twitch as we do random live streams throughout the week. You definitely don't want to miss that. And as always, if you want to help us grow, head over to our Patreon today and become a patron.